She cried tears of snake blood at Eden's brood, painfully wreaking havoc on the emotional spectrum of her frail frame. She was on the verge of imploding. She trembled and shook, and was at the first stage of descent. No, not that. Not that. Not that. Descent was a mad maelstrom of extricated storms that destroyed the host it lived in. No individual had ever survived the experience, no matter the age. For a young woman such as Miranda, descent was capable of shredding her to shreds within minutes. I had to do something fast. Now, Gary, act, do something. Her body tossed and turned and was thrown from wall to wall, forest to forest, building to building, slammed into one object after another, screamed and hellhounds throttled the light's thrusts, pinpoint pins penetrated the shivers, and sermons of religious righteousness ran over by the jealous island of Lesbos with their need for wanton waffles and riddle rackets, her ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders hit again and again by the fear-mongers known as the Secret Service to nothing, the eyes with no eyes. She was battered beyond belief. The only thing that could save her was me, not just me, but the reciprocation of her love. I had to return her lust, her desire, her romance, her need for unity with me. I had to satisfy the levy within the lines of the land, the lines between us. It turned out that for me to play the game of distance was more destructive. I relaxed the ropes, pulled them towards me, and jumped into the deep. I began my journey under seas, swimming further and further down, further and further away from Hollywood High, from Los Angeles, from California, from the world. The descent had captured her heart. In a moment of near complete despair and hopelessness, it was now submerged in the submachine marine marathon, swim, flying, shooting headlong into the farthest reaches of the ocean, carrying as it did the moon maelstrom of violence violet. I swam as fast as I could and found myself getting closer to the descent parasite and its newfound host, Miranda. We descended further and further and further, until no sign of life besides the three of us existed. This was where some traveled to, but few, and perhaps none, came back to the land of birds and air, the lands of the living. Soon the bottom of the deepest parts of the ocean appeared, and I realized that this was where it all began. The bleak, barkless, life-limping dark, running prism at this point scared me to the point of almost desiring to let descent eat us both. Miranda and I, just so I would not have to shake in fear of this impenetrable darkness of the deep. And there was the land of unspeakable horrors, the region within which many, many descent parasites lived. So this descent was planning on taking Miranda as a sacrifice for the entire community, not just for its own devouring. The entrance to the land was not far, and the guardians of the gate were there. The stark raving mad priest and cold nun both stood large and still in front of the massive gates and had eyes more menacing than any creature should be allowed to have. Here was the worst, most evil place in the confines of Earth. This was Earth's core, on the other side of pearly, placid reality. This was the center of fear and control and destruction. The dark deep, the abject abyss. This region was what fueled so much of the unnecessary death and destruction on our planet. From this land, all that seemed not right, all the power structures that control our lives, that lead to many, many horrors and atrocities, as much as one person could imagine, and then multiplied 1 million times. All of those horrors were fueled by this tendrically linear central battery of hate at Earth's core. This was the place I was currently swimming towards, to save Miranda from the sacrifice that was awaiting her.